The movie begins with a man standing in a field when there are a lot of people and reporters with cameras. Besides him, there is a table with a lot of weapons, and suddenly, an arrow is shot towards him from the other side. The man dives over the table to protect himself, while looking to his bow to use it against his opponent. The bow was broken while he was trying to dive over the table. Being mad, he tries to peek beyond the table, but he gets shot on his chest. It is so painful, and we see the man's face in deep pain. But the man doesn't lose hope. He grabs a knife and runs towards his opponent. He then stabs him with the knife so many times without any mercy. The man dies immediately. He then looks at his opponent. The reporter congratulates him and asks him if he is the original or the double. The man answers that he is the double. This man is a clone who just killed the original version of himself. Somewhere else, Sarah orders a lot of food, and she declines her mom's calls. Then after, she heads to her home and starts to watch adult movies. While she is watching a movie, her boyfriend Peter calls. She tells him that she is just watching a movie. She seems interested. They agree to talk later, and they hang up the phone. But when she hangs up the phone, her mood suddenly changes and she has a bottle of whiskey. The next day, Sarah meets her mother in a restaurant. Sarah is filling her mouth with food, and her mother asks her if she is filling her mouth to avoid talking to her. Her mom shows her a collection of coins that Sarah used to collect. Sarah, being shocked and surprised, asks her mom how she found it. Her mom asks her why she stops collecting, and she suddenly asks her if she is happy. Sarah tells her that she is happy. Her mom keeps questioning her, and Sarah keeps swallowing coins. Soon, she shocks and vomits all the coins she swallowed. Her mom says goodbye. Sarah wakes up with a full of blood in her pillow. After washing herself and cleaning her bed, Sarah goes to see her doctor. The reception asks her if her situation is an emergency. Sarah replies, no, but she suddenly vomits blood on the floor. Because of this, she stayed in the hospital's bed to run some tests and to get rest. Later on, Sarah calls her boyfriend, but he tells that he won't come because of an important project. Sarah tries to keep the conversation interesting since it is getting awkward. Peter's coworker Sam keeps texting him, and he tells her that he met Sam earlier. This makes Sarah sad, since he is not giving her time. He suggests she go to sleep so that she can rest. Sarah tells him that she can't eat or drink until her endoscopy is done by tomorrow. But Peter seems so distracted by his friend's text. The next day, the doctor sends Sarah to home until her test results come out. The doctor strictly forbade her not to take any kind of alcohol, but Sarah heads to her home and starts to drink alcohol. Meanwhile, she tries to contact Peter, but he doesn't reply to her text. Even if he replies, he gives her cold answers. Then the scene shifts to Sarah heading to the gym and does some exercise. When she comes back home, she calls Peter and tells him that she has exercised and she is feeling good. But Peter remains silent. When she asks him what's going on, he tells her that she is ill. Her doctor contacted him because his number is on the emergency list. Sarah was surprised by herself because she just knows she is going to die, but she is not even crying. The next day, Sarah visits her doctor, and her doctor tells her that she has a rare and incurable stomach disease that will eventually spread all over her body. The doctor is not sure how much she has left, but it will be soon. Sarah is very calm. The doctor wonders why. Sarah tells the doctor that she doesn't want to die, but the thing is out of her control, and she cannot do anything about it. Sarah asks the doctor if she has any other choice. The doctor suggests she get a replacement so that her loved ones won't be sad. With the leaflet that the doctor gives her, she starts to do some research about the replacement. When she watches the video, she realizes that the clone must spend some time with the original person before the original person dies. After that, Sarah calls the facility and schedules a consultation on her replacement procedure. The next day, Sarah starts to drive to the replacement facility and she starts to cry in the car. After arriving at the replacement center, Sarah gets a consultation from an expert. She realizes that she cannot afford the consultation, but the expert tells her that they have a payment plan. After she dies, her double will take full responsibility for her payment costs. After she hears this, she agrees with the expert, and she decides to get a replacement. After waiting some time, Sarah got the chance to meet her double. Her double's sound and look is exactly the same as hers, but her eye color is a bit different. There was some coding error when they made her double. They apologize to her, and the facility gives her a 5% discount. Meanwhile, her double and Sarah head home together. While going home, the double asks Sarah a lot of questions, like her personal information, likes and dislikes. When they get home, Sarah shows her home around and tells her every single detail about her life. Her double sees Peter's and Sarah's picture, and she puts the frame face down. But Sarah comes and puts its face up again. Sarah tells her that she hasn't yet told her mother and Peter that she is going to get a replacement. She doesn't even want to tell her mother that she is ill. Her double promises that she will love her loved ones, like Peter and her mother, as she loved them even more. Sarah hands her her clothes, but the double's size is smaller than Sarah. 10 months later, the double takes Sarah's life completely while Sarah is still alive. One day, Peter and the double are preparing to go on a date. They become so close and romantic in front of Sarah. Then, the double apologizes to her for taking her life. She also asks her about her life, and Sarah tells her she has an appointment the next day. She also tells her that she will make love with Peter when she gets back. The next day, Sarah goes to see her doctor, and her doctor tells her that there is a sign of reduction or disappearance in her symptoms. She will no longer be dying. But Sarah's life has already been taken by her double, so her doctor suggests decommissioning. By the law, only a person dying can have a double. Meanwhile, Sarah heads to her home while she is in her car. She shouts with anger. She then heads to her mother. When she arrives, she sees the double and Peter with her mother. The double is pretending to be her while she is not around, which is not part of their plan. Sarah explains to her mother that she was dying, and she gets a replacement, but now she is recovering, so her clone will be decommissioned. She also yelled at her double. Peter takes her outside, and she tries to kiss him, but he looks disinterested. He also tells her that he is so much attached to her double, but Sarah, being frustrated, tells him that she can be anything for him. But Peter tells her that he doesn't love anymore even if her double will be decommissioned. She tells him that she loves him. He acknowledges her love for him, but he told her that he can no longer be with her. Sarah tries to get back to her mom's home, but the door is locked. She tries to knock several times and no response from her mom. She also tries to sneak in through the back door, but her mom remains silent. A few days later, the double's lawyer calls Sarah and tells her that the double has filed a motion to stay. Then Sarah heads to get some legal advice, and her lawyer tells her that her double's argument is acceptable because she has stayed for too long and established her identity as Sarah. Peter is also asking her to move out of the house since the lease is in his name. The lawyer suggests to her that she needs to duel her double to death to get her identity back. He also recommends her to learn fighting lessons for the duel. She also takes her staff from Peter's house. A couple days later, Sarah hires a man named Trent that can teach her some fighting techniques to kill her double on the duel date. Trent asks her if she really wants to live and wants to kill her double, and she answers yes for both questions. She starts her difficult training with Trent. She starts to train by using her whole strength and by not giving up so easily. He also gives her a DVD of murder so that she can learn different techniques of murder. She watches the movie and returns it back to Trent and tells him that she understands. He teaches her how to use the weapons and everything about combat. One day, Trent instructs her to head to a hospital and to see a doctor performing a surgery. Sarah finds it difficult to see this, but she manages to watch the doctor performing the surgery. Later, while Sarah is training with a fake weapon with Trent, he compliments her improvement mentally and emotionally. Her duel is in about a week. Later on, she goes to a shop and buys an outfit for her duel. That night, her lawyer calls and tells her that her duel is postponed to next month. As she is talking to her lawyer, she also watches Robert Michael's duel on TV. The next day, Sarah meets Peter, and he apologizes to her for what he said and did. She tells him it is fine, and she also tells him that she will kill her double no matter what. Later, she calls Trent and tells him that her duel is postponed for another month. She and Trent agree to continue her training until the duel date. The following day, Trent introduces her to his dog and asks her to kill him. The dog is ill, so he tells her that she will just give relief to the dog. But Sarah couldn't manage to kill the dog, which disappoints Trent. Suddenly, she sees her double spying on her outside. Sarah shoots at her and runs to see if she shot her. Unluckily, she shoots a small dog. After apologizing to the dog's owner, Sarah runs to find her double, and two twins take her to her double. Sarah tells her double that she steals her life, and they have some argument about whose life is. Later on, her double takes her to a life session where everyone has a similar history like them. Sarah was mad at her because she thinks that she is going to convince her not to kill her. After they finish the life session, Sarah tells her that this isn't their fault, it was the system who made them like this. So they decide that maybe neither of them shouldn't die. The next day, Sarah thinks a lot in her apartment and packs her bag to leave. She also leaves her knife and the outfit that she bought for the duel. She picks her double and heads to leave town. Her double tells her that she can't drive a car. They stop in the middle of the road. Her double offers her water and she drinks it. They start to go deep into the woods. Sarah is talking a lot, but her double remains silent. Suddenly, Sarah's nose starts to bleed. Her double puts something in the water she gave her. Sarah, being betrayed, looks at her double, but her double doesn't do anything to help her. Later, Sarah arrives at the duel and tells the marshal that she was in a car accident. The marshal asks her where her double is, but she tells her that don't know. The police try to find her double, but they are not able to find her anywhere. Meanwhile, she gains her identity by the court, and she is now free to go back to her life. She begins to receive the annoying voicemails from her mom, which frustrates her. At the end, she is driving her wrecked car. While listening to her mom's voicemail, Sarah is struggling to drive her car, which reveals that she is still the double. After all, finally, the movie shows Sarah's double crying in her car with deep sadness.